but I'm not gonna grow. I'm not gonna grow any or anything. But I can still Welcome to the stage, Philly Broadway, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I went to high school in Shreveport, Louisiana, and yeah, nobody from Shreveport. Okay, good. Yeah, those are dangerous people. We don't want them. Yeah, so in Shreveport, I started my first bands there. And the thing about in Louisiana at the time, this was like mid '80s, right when we moved over there, and the drinking age was still 18, which was, I didn't realize when I moved there. Like, holy shit, okay. And I just started, playing guitar, writing songs. I had my dreams already, and so I could play in bars there at 17 years old. I had a neck beard. I had a neck beard and long hair, believe it or not. And yeah, so I hooked up with these cats. A guy named David Green. Some of you may know David Green, and a guy named Billy Blacks. That was his stage name. And then we formed a power trio. We called it the Bums, B-U-M-Z. And we used to play a biker bar called the Café Directoire, next to Bill Bush's Moulin Rouge. And that's where I got my start. That's how I started playing. This was, 85, something like that, 40 years ago. I'm not good at math, so let's not even go there. But yeah, so and then eventually we became called the Picket Line Coyotes. And we changed our name and started a little punk rock band. Because I gave those guys a choice. I said, we can either be like the loudest blues band in the world, a la Stevie Ray Vaughan, or I have all these songs I've written, and we can just be like a punk rock band and do those, Y'all's choice. They're like, let's play your songs, dude. I was like, well, hey, all right. So we became the Picket Line Coyotes. And yeah, it was a formative time in my life in the late 80s there. And we got pretty popular around Shreveport and northern Louisiana, where we played Monroe and Ruston. Around there we played a lot of parties and played a lot of clubs. And but at some point, I don't know what happened. In 1987, I was a face to watch in Upstate Magazine. It's like the Austin Chronicle of Shreveport. I was there with the Chief of Police, Charles Gruber, and me both. Were faces to watch in 1987 in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I'll say, they never stopped me at one of those roadblocks they had. They never pulled me over. So maybe that helped me, I don't know. But anyway, at some point, the clubs just wouldn't book us anymore. They would not book the Picket Line because we had big crowds. And our crowds were a little wild back then. They were a little crazy. And some of them centenary kids, they were crazy. But centenary university over there. But so then we couldn't play anymore in Shreveport. So we were like, I guess we better move somewhere. We didn't know where to move. Of course, we had opened for some Austin bands, Wild Siege, Mike Hall and Chris McKay and Wild Siege, Randy Franklin, and they had told me, they pulled me aside, they said, hey man, you need to come to Austin. Yeah, I was like, man, it's so far away. And the Reavers, the Zeitgeist, John Crosler, and they did the same thing when I opened for them. They're like, hey man, you should be in Austin. I was like, I know, man. But I got a girlfriend. So anyway, we decided to move to Dallas, of course. Well, here's the deal. Here's my thinking on it. Because the speed limit was still 55 miles per hour on the interstate system, right? And it took you forever to get anywhere. And then I got tickets all the time. And so I was like, if we could live in Dallas and it's like just a few hours to Shreveport, we still could play sometimes there at a little club, and we would go a few hours to Austin. And that's when we started playing Austin, opening for the Wannabes. You remember the Wannabes, maybe at the Texas Tavern. Those were some of my first. And at the Cannibal Club, of course. And yeah, so anyway, it was time to leave Louisiana. This whole song, this long story is just about, I'm just reminiscing, sorry. This whole song's about loving someplace so much, but you know that it's time to leave. You just gotta go. If things are gonna work out for you, it's time to leave. And this is called Leaving Louisiana Blues.